Hello and welcome to this COVID-19 edition of City News. I'm Jennifer Murillo. Statewide reopening slowly continues, yet for most, it will take time to financially recover and get back on their feet. Today we have with us Kinecta Community Engagement Officer, Latrice McLaughlin. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
With so many people still currently unemployed, do you have any budgeting tips?
Sure, I think with what's going on right now, the tips that I would give is now is the time to budget. I know that some families will be receiving or have already received the stimulus checks that are coming in. So even for a family that may be unemployed, that might be a little bit of money to give them, just a quick sigh of relief to be able to get back on their feet. With others, I would tell them, think about what's really happening to you now. How much money you have coming in, how much money you have going out, which might look different than, 2 months ago. And so they need to just adjust their budget, to complement that.
As people go back to work, any suggestions on how to get them back on their feet quicker?
Sure, I'd say that now is the time to just buckle down just a bit. So one thing I would say is to categorize the spending that they have. So thinking about what they're needing versus what they're wanting. What's a fixed cost versus what's a flexible cost versus what might be occasional. So definitely button down your rent, button down your mortgage, make sure your utilities are taken care of. What does your food look like? And expenses that have to happen every single month. And then move on to the things that can be a little bit more flexible. And of course, those are always kind of hard to give up, because that's our bit of relief, that's our bit of luxury. But I think at this time, we've really just got to kind of keep our nose to the grindstone and really focus on what's essential for us.
Is there anything people can do, like reaching out to companies for credits?
Yes, that's a fantastic point. I would encourage everyone to think about the organizations that they're working with, be it if they might have a loan, if they're with a financial institution, if they've got a credit card. Most all of them have some sort of hardship opportunities that are available, but the key is you must ask for it. And so that's what I would encourage all of our families and our neighbors to do, is to reach out. And that could even provide a cushion for right now as well. If you can get, your loan deferred, if you're a student, or if your credit card will give you skip a pay, or your financial institution might give you an opportunity to skip a pay on, say, a car payment. I'm not sure for every person, they'll have to reach out to the organization that they're working with, but you do have to reach out and have to ask. So even though this is a scary kind of time, don't be afraid to reach out and ask, and use those monies, use that bit of time, even knowing your city and knowing as far as they may have a moratorium, like on evictions and things like that. If you can use that payment now, even to start a little bit of a nest egg, a little bit of emergency savings, I definitely would suggest.
What can families do to be better prepared for any future emergency?
I think the safe things for families to do now is to really think about and to know how much they're actually spending. Because sometimes, you have just a little extra cash, and the kids ask for, can I have $5? Can I have $10? And you kind of just doling money out. But to really think about how much money do we need to live off of, and then let's go ahead and create some savings, because some have said there's going to be a second wave of this pandemic that'll come around. And if we're locked down again, we don't want to be in the same situation. So I would say, let's try to save, if we can save $1,000 just to have that for emergencies, cash emergency, then you won't have to use a credit card and get fees or something. You won't have to borrow. But then beyond that, can you save 3 months of your family's spending? Can you save 6 months? Would really be ideal as well.
Thank you, Latrice.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
To learn more about healthy financial habits, the website listed on the screen will take you to Kinecta's no-cost financial empowerment modules. For those of you who have procrastinated in filing your 2019 taxes, just a reminder, your tax returns are due by July 15th. For more information on filing and deadlines, visit the IRS website at www.irs.gov. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board continues to support businesses through job creation, business retention, and layoff aversion, especially now more than ever with the drastic spike in unemployment over the past 2 months. Reporter Danny Miskell is standing by to discuss what the board is doing with the current state of the workforce. Danny?
Thank you, Jennifer. Joining us now from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board, Inc. is CEO Jan Vogel. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for asking, Danielle.
Mr. Vogel, it's been about 8 weeks now since Congress has passed the CARES Act. Can you tell us in that time what impacts you have seen on jobs and on small businesses in the South Bay?
Well, it's been tremendous, really. I mean, what we get sent to us when a business is closing or a business is laying off a substantial number of people, not the little tiny businesses. So you have to lay off at least 50 people to get a warn notice, is what they call it. We've had over 20,000 warn notices sent to us from our 11-city South Bay area. If you compare that to a year ago at this time, I think we had something like, gosh, I have the figure here. I can tell you in a minute. Minimal. I mean, it was like a couple hundred, maybe 200. So 200 something versus 20,000 something, and that's the amount of employees affected. Not the notice themselves, not the businesses, but the amount of employees affected. Mm-hmm. So it's been substantial. The businesses, for example, there's been 223 versus 16, from last year at this time. So it's tremendous, really. So many participants, so many employees affected by this, and businesses as well. And of course, that some of that includes Hawthorne. Hawthorne has had its share of warn notices too. Not as much maybe as some of the other South Bay cities, but still substantial.
Yes, substantial increase, absolutely. And how has the South Bay Workforce Investment Board responded to that? How have you restructured your approach and how you are placing jobs for the unemployed?
So it's a tremendous job from my rapid response team. That is, what they're used to doing is when we get a warn notice, we go out to the company. We try to get the company to bring the employees in. We provide an orientation to the companies as to how to file for employment. We bring EDD with us, what resources are available for them, what opportunities are available. Well, now we can't do that. So we do it virtually. And sometimes we have so many companies that are involved in this now. So we try to group companies together. So we're not only doing one company at a time. If there's several manufacturing companies, we try to group those manufacturing companies together and do a virtual orientation for as many employees as we can handle. And we'll do it late at night sometimes. I mean, we'll do it in the morning, we'll do it in the afternoon, we'll do it in the evening, we'll do it after midnight. I mean, whenever we can, whenever it'll work to get the biggest audience involved. So it's been keeping us very, very busy.
And for the unemployed, has there been any options available to them, what they could be doing in the interim while they're without jobs? Anything that they can do to pivot from probably the careers that they've had for the last several years?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, it's still evolving as to what is available for them. But of course, there are some jobs that are available. There's some big companies that are recruiting. In fact, we've done a number of recruitments over the last couple months that are virtual recruitments. And let me see if I can name a few of them. We've had, well, I know Amazon has been recruiting. A lot of delivery companies have been recruiting. FedEx, Lowe's, Home Depot, healthcare industries. I mean, so there are openings. Of course, not nearly as many openings as the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are unemployed. But what we do have are the opportunities to be retrained. And we have about 2,500 programs that individuals could take courses in to get retrained. Now, we've always had a lot of courses for the residents and unemployed and dislocated workers to get retrained. What's different now is that many of those courses are online. So we're able to offer those courses now, even in this terrible situation. So I would say probably have 2,000 courses that are online that people could take advantage of by contacting our one-stop centers. As far as different kind of jobs, you know, there are different kind of jobs that are going to come out of all this. I mean, there's the contact tracers, for example. Now they're starting to get recruitments for contact tracers, and they're going to need that in various industries. Security, different security possibilities and opportunities are available. Software engineers that deal with specific security, healthcare, all kind of different healthcare companies, designing robots, you know, in order to accommodate what's needed in the businesses to limit contact with people. So there's a number of jobs that are going to be coming on board fairly soon. And we have courses, and we will continue to have courses that will be able to fill that void.
That sounds very promising, I'm sure, to so many people who are unemployed right now. My final question to you is, what do you see in terms of the near-term future, what the workforce, the landscape is going to look like for people without jobs, people who are probably pending on if they're going to be keeping their jobs or not, businesses opening or not? What do you predict the next few months will look like?
You know, there's the unemployment situation. People are filing for unemployment. Unfortunately, there's a lot of frustration in individuals filing for unemployment because there's never been anything like that. And the Employment Development Department wasn't ready, as probably many of the states were not ready for this type of volume. So they've added many individuals from other divisions to work in the unemployment call center so that they can call. If they call our Inglewood One-Stop Center or Worksource Center, as well as any of the other centers that we have around the South Bay, they'll be able to be told what to do, what the best way is to get online and apply for unemployment insurance. And of course, one of the problems, unfortunately, it's kind of an unusual problem, is some people are getting more unemployment insurance because of the federal unemployment insurance than they were making. So in some cases, some people, when they're ready to come back to work, when the business is ready to hire them, they don't want to come back to work. But that's going to run out. You know, the end of July is when the federal unemployment runs out. So that'll change. But we're there to assist them. Our centers are open not to the public, but they're open by appointment. So they can call any of our centers and make an appointment to talk to our case managers and counselors, or they can even come in on an appointment basis, on a one-on-one basis. So there are resources available. There's going to be different jobs that we don't even know of right now that's going to come about. You know, it's a different world, and it'll take a while. You know, it'll take a while. So it'll take a while to restructure curriculums in the various programs that are available now to better apply to the new jobs that are coming in the economy. But it'll work out. You know, and the teen center right now is closed. We have a Hawthorne teen center. We're hoping when school starts we can reopen that. But we're doing things in the teen center right now. We're going to be planning a huge job fair. Every year at this time, we have a very big job fair with hundreds and hundreds of kids. Well, we're going to do our first youth blueprint job fair virtually. So we hope to have many young people participating in that. We already have 25, 30 employers that are going to be telling the young people, giving them a speech. asking the young people to come with a 30-second elevator speech so that they can get hired. So we're doing a lot of recruitments, but it's all virtual. This big job fair we're going to do. We're going to do more things with the young people at the teen center, but maybe not in the center, maybe in the park behind the teen center.
Okay.
So we're looking at different ways to be able to reach out to the residents and businesses locally.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Mr. Vogel, for giving us all this information. I'm sure many of our viewers are looking forward to these virtual job fairs that you were discussing, and also the online resources that you provided for people to reach out to as we are looking for new jobs in this time. We really appreciate everything that you shared.
Just one more thing, Danielle. There's going to be thousands of jobs available at the SoFi project, which is not just the stadium, but all the programs, all the entities around the stadium in Inglewood. So there'll be lots of recruitments going on there, and the Hawthorne residents, I'm sure, will want to hear about that.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and make sure to link that with Jennifer afterwards. Thank you so much again for your time. We really appreciate all this helpful information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. For more information on job openings, visit the South Bay One Stop website at www.sbwib.org. You will also see how you can begin a job search specifically for SoFi Stadium through the resume portal. SBWIB will be holding their first virtual blueprint for Workplace Success Youth Job Fair. It will take place via Zoom on June 17th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. To register, go to www.southbayonestop.org/virtual-blueprint. Thank you for watching. We hope you continue to stay safe and stay positive.